and thank you for joining the Inside Scoop, Conversations with Dr. Brewer. I'm Joe Falco, the Executive Director of Student Success at Rockland Community College. This is intended to be an interactive session, and we encourage you to ask questions via the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. Our speakers will be answering some questions live, and other questions will be answered in the Q&A window by our behind-the-scenes panelists. Today we have Andrea Bogan from our Campus Fun and Learn Center. We have Tiara Hall Edwards, who is the coordinator of the Connection Center. We have one of our Connection counselors, Inez Rivera. We have Renee Salveson visiting us from Financial Aid, and we have Brian McGurk from Student Accounts. And now I'm pleased to turn the conversation over to Dr. Brewer, who is our Vice President for Enrollment Management and Student Affairs at the college.
Thank you so much, Joe. It is a pleasure to be here today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. As Joe said, we have a lot of people on this call today because we want to make sure that we provide you with outstanding information about really how, as an adult student, what resources do we have to support you, how you can really manage this upcoming fall semester and be as successful as possible. I'm going to ask my panelists to turn on their microphone and video so that we can hear them and see them. And, you know, one of the things that I want to ask all of our attendees to do is in the bottom of your screen, if you scroll down, you'll see a little button that says Q&A. If you have any questions for any of our panelists, please press the Q&A button and enter any questions that you may have there, and we'll try and answer them live for you. Any questions that we can't answer during this session, we will follow up with you as we have your registration information and make sure that you have the information that you need. So, as we're thinking about adult learners, we have to balance sometimes a lot of things. We have to balance family, work, now school as well. And now in this era of COVID and really trying to manage what this new life is going to be like, we really have to start thinking about what are our resources that are available to us, how are we going to prioritize things. One of the issues that I know a lot of our students, particularly those who are student parents, have concerns about is what will be the resources that will be available for their children in terms of childcare in the fall. And so Andrea Bogan is here and can answer some questions. But Andrea, why don't you tell us a little bit about the Child Care Center, the Fun and Learn Center, what will be happening this fall, and how will it be a safe environment for students to take their children to?
Absolutely. So Campus Fun and Learn is actually a nationally accredited center through NAYC. We serve children as young as 6 weeks old up to 5 years of age. We definitely are open to the community, faculty and staff, and we significantly serve student parents, which obviously looks a little different this year than it has before. We really, first and foremost, I want student parents to know that even though they're doing virtual learning and they may not be on campus, we understand that you have childcare needs. And we really just want people to know that we have grants and subsidies available that can significantly reduce, if not almost cover, the cost of childcare while you're taking online or in-person classes. So even though you may be doing virtual learning from home, if you need that time, you can use our facilities. You can apply for these grants. I'm always available via email, phone. I'm handling all of this virtually as well. So I can do virtual tours. I can send registration information, grant information, all through email. And we actually also just put out our COVID-19 policy and procedures. So it is a 15-page document explaining the extra steps, policies, and protocols we are taking during this pandemic to ensure the safety of our staff, our families, and our children. All of our policies and procedures are following Department of Health, Office of Children and Family Services, and CDC guidelines. So we carefully had to dissect all three of those documents to put these policies and procedures into place. And they've also been approved by our healthcare consultant. So our staff have been trained in all these policies and procedures, and we're absolutely ready to open our doors September 1st, marking the new semester. And I just want everyone to know, even our families that are currently enrolled, that I'm always available to talk.
Thank you. And Andrea, are you going to still have, it sounds like you're still going to have the same hours?
We're definitely keeping the same hours. So Monday through Friday, 6:30 a.m. to 6 p.m.
And what about the capacity? Will you still have the same ratio of students to children, children to teachers?
So it does look a little different in our larger classrooms. So the Department of Health has put a 15 child maximum on any classroom, but obviously our infant and toddler classrooms were lower capacity even before this. So it does change the maximum capacity in our preschool and our pre-K classroom. But we're actually increasing our child to teacher ratio just because we have the extra cleaning and disinfecting needs that is going to need to be addressed.
Great. And
so that ratio it'll actually increase.
And if families need to reach you or students need to reach you, where should they call? Where should they, what's the best way to contact someone right now?
I'm at the center every day, so they can always call me. We're listed on the RCC website, but it is 845-574-4561. I know a lot of student parents have been reaching out to me via email, and we set up times to do a phone or a Zoom meeting. And my email is abogan@sunyrockland.edu.
Okay. So maybe what we'll do is we'll try and put that information in the Q&A so that if you have questions for Andrea or about the Child Care Center, you can certainly reach out to her. So I'm sure that a lot of students may be kind of grappling with how do I balance life and how do I manage kind of this, as we keep saying, this new normal or this new way of being. Obviously, we're now doing Zoom calls and we're not always face-to-face. I know that today we have a lot of students on campus with rapid registration and the social distancing. It's a little bit different than what we have always done. But Inez Rivera is one of our faculty counselors that we have and one of our well-renowned counselors, I would say. And so, Inez, what would you say are some tips you would give to students who are trying to figure out how they're going to balance work and school and maybe children or multiple responsibilities, or maybe they're caring for a loved one at home? Could you give us some tips on what you would recommend or what you're seeing as well?
Yes, thank you. We are seeing an increase in what we typically see as far as concerns with students. But when we meet for counseling, so one of the things I do is provide confidential counseling for students. And there are 3 licensed confidential counselors available to the student body. And we typically see issues such as anxiety, depression, just managing life stressors. And as anyone can imagine, right now that is hit a peak. There's been an increase in the anxiety, an increase in the depression. There's an increase in frustration as well. And I think that for parents, that's perhaps been frustration and concern. Those two are walking together right now. Parents are very concerned about the impact of this virus on their children. How can they create some sense of normalcy in their lives when so many of the usual avenues, especially around socialization and education, are being thwarted right now, or it feels that way. And so parents have a lot of concerns about that. They're also frustrated with having to take on extra roles. So as a parent, and I'm a parent, I've been a parent, I know that the task of parenting is the juggle. How am I to be a parent, and I'm also going to be a student, I'm also an employee somewhere, I also care, am connected to other family members who need me. And now we have that has been magnified. Now many parents are teachers, many parents are the socialization outlet for their child. And I hear parents saying, wait a minute, I didn't sign up for this. I can do the parenting thing, but I can't do the teaching thing and all of that. So it becomes very, very challenging, and I think it increases the frustration. And as parents, the one thing we want to do is to do our job well. And when the demands are so great, we often find ourselves questioning, am I doing a good enough job? Are my kids going to be okay? One of the things I know about children, and I've worked with children a lot before I entered higher ed, is that children are resilient. And if they're surrounded by a loving environment, children have the ability to bounce back. Now, how do we provide them with a loving environment when we're feeling like, what am I going to do here? I think what's important is that we have to take care of ourselves. As parents out there, you need to take care of yourself. Now, everybody says that's easier said than done, but that, I think, is the task of the moment, is how can I find, in the midst of all of these demands, all of these extra roles I now have to play, a way to take care of myself. And sometimes it's a small slice of the day that taking care of yourself is. It could be a walk. It could be going into your room and just saying, I'm going to lay here in bed for 15 minutes and just have quiet time. It could be watching, after the kids go to bed, watching something that's totally silly and totally out of context, but it takes you to a different place. Whatever it is, I think it's important to try to build that into one's schedule. Everyone is grappling with the same thing. We are here offering you information about what we can offer you at RCC. We too in our personal lives are grappling with the same thing. One thing about this pandemic is there's no one who's excluded. So we're all feeling the demands. We need to be empathic and caring with one another, but I do believe it's important to start with showing some of that empathy and caring towards ourselves. And I think particularly as parents, it's so, so important. We are here to offer you support as well. And one of the things I say is look around at what can be supportive to you right now. We're here to offer you that support, and we offer it in different ways. We offer it through counseling, and counseling could be a capital C and a small c. And by that, I mean, some students say, no, I don't need therapy. That's not my thing. Well, sometimes what I'm talking about is you just reach out and we have a conversation about what's going on. And we try to offer you strategies and suggestions so that you don't feel alone. I think feeling alone is probably the hardest thing to feel as a parent. So know that you're not alone. And know that we believe in you. I really want to say one thing. I know I'm talking a lot, Dr. Brewer, but there's one message I really want to convey, because I both do the counseling, I also teach in the classroom. And one of the things that parents will often say to me is, I don't know that I can do this college thing. I've been away from school for 10, 15, 20 years. I've had students say that to me, and I don't know technology, and I don't know this, and I get the list of everything they don't know. One of the things I have experienced in my work is that adult learners are motivated, are dedicated, and work so hard at this thing called college. And you can be successful. You will be successful because this is something you want. And many parents will say, I want to be the role model for my children. I want to do this for them as well as for me. And at the end of the semester, I will go up to that student and say, remember what you told me the first day when you were sitting here saying you didn't think you could do this thing? And I said, and you're looking at an A. This is what I have experienced, and it goes totally contrary to many of the feelings that many parents have. So I just want to say that I know there's a lot going on right now, but this is something you can do, and we're here to help you. And I could always talk more later if you want. I know there are other people that need to present.
Thank you. I think you bring a really good point in that it seems like a long road when you're first starting off, but little by little and step by step, you'll get there. So I'm so glad to hear those encouraging words from you. You know, I think that COVID really has put a lot of families, individuals in situations where they never imagined they would be in. I know that you said it before, you know, everyone is affected by this. No one is exempt from COVID. No one can hide from it. There's nowhere to go to hide from it. It is here. It's our reality. And I think that a lot of students and everyone in our community really has found themselves, again, not realizing how vulnerable we can be. You know, even if it was just a matter of getting food or getting toiletries, I think when this all hit initially, we were all in the same place. And again, as I said, people found themselves in very vulnerable positions. And so we have a wonderful resource in the Connection Center. And I'm going to ask Tiara Hall-Edwards to give us a quick update on how we can support students when they find themselves in positions that they would not have expected, and what an extensive, really just non-exhaustive list, it seems like, of resources that are available. So Tiara, I'm going to turn it over to you. And can you tell us a little bit about what's going on in the Connection Center, and maybe also do a quick plug for the Growing Together grant and how the college continues to support our students?
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. I'm Tiara Hall-Edward. I'm the coordinator for the Connection Center, and what we do is connect students and their families to off-campus and on-campus resources. And given the current circumstances, we've been doing a lot of the off-campus resources. And the great thing about giving resources is that you don't actually have to be on campus. So it really works either way. And I just want to piggyback off of Inez when she talked about parents. So I do want to make that little plug-in of Growing Together. That's a new program that we have for our single parent students. And we can't express enough how hard it is. It could be for a parent who is single and has 2 children, who has 3 children, and so on and so forth. So what we can do is give that student multiple resources, and it's pretty extensive, but I'll just say a few. And of course, we can talk offline about more so, because I don't want to run on and on here about our resources. But we can give those grocery gift cards, we give gas station gift cards, and we really try to tailor it to the need of the student. So we don't just say, hey, you can only have one sort of gift card for this place. We really try to tailor it to the student and really what works for them, especially during this pandemic. We know a lot of people have trouble getting around, have trouble with paying for gas, right? A lot of parents are actually taking their children to and from where they need to go, and possibly their family members. So we know that it could be very challenging. One thing I like to mention about the Connection Center is our logo is Life Happens. And really what that means for me is when life happens, what do I do, right? So life happens, you know, stress is coming down on me. And with this pandemic, that's just another example of life happening, right? So it's not our fault, right? It's not your fault, it's not my fault, but this is what's happening. So how can I advocate for myself? How can I take the resources that I need and get ahead and move forward? So that's something that we really try to drill in. But this program specifically, we offer workshops and time management, goals, self-care. We know that's super important for parents especially, right? That's self-care, taking time for yourself. Like Inez said, right? Even if it's just laying on the bed for a few minutes and just thinking about nothing. So we need that self-care piece. And also just that time management. I know a lot of parents have spoken to us and they've really expressed concerns about, you know, how do I juggle this, right? Like my kid is at home all day now. How do I keep them busy? How do I keep myself on top of the things I need to get done? So it can become really, really challenging. And we found that these workshops have been really helpful with just providing those tips, right? Because sometimes it just takes kind of a reminder like, oh yeah, I can do that. Right. So it's not just about, you know, here's a whole bunch of information and now do something with it, but here's like a tip for you, right? And once again, tailoring it to your situation. Because yes, we're all going through this pandemic, but we all have different lives, right? Different demands, different pressures that we feel each day. So that's super important as well. I also want to talk about our food pantry curbside pickup. That's something that we're still kind of in the works of developing. We do have a food pantry on campus, but given this current circumstances, we had to close it. But we were kind of working on this curbside pickup, which I think is like a thing now for like fast food restaurants and all of that, right? Go to. So we are trying to do that starting in September, and it will be advertised. All of this information that I'm spewing out now will be advertised. And you can always contact us at the Connection Center. But those curbside pickup bags will be non-perishable items, and really just to help students out with just basic groceries. Once again, one of the main resources that we give out on campus and off campus is food. Food and groceries and food insecurity is a huge issue, not only at RCC, but nationwide. And it's sad, but it's a really real fact. And it's something that we've been kind of tackling for years now. So that's just one of our initiatives to really help food insecurity, and especially with our single parent students. So that will be starting in the fall semester, and advertisements will go out for that. We've also been partnering with Health First, which is an insurance organization, and that will really help our single parent students gain access to affordable insurance, not just for themselves, but also for their children. So that will also be advertised. We will have Zoom presentations. And if you're not able to make those Zoom presentations, we can work something out as well offline. I think I'll put in the chat maybe the Connection Center email and the phone number so that you have it. We are virtual 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. So you can always email us with questions. You can call us. We are here for you. And I also want to just mention really quickly the emergency fund. The emergency fund are for students who are currently being impacted by COVID in the current circumstances. And students are able to receive up to $500 in funding when they apply for the emergency fund, if they, upload proper documentation and things like that. And one of the most, I think, pressing issues when it comes to the emergency fund, when we look at all of these applications, it's a lot of the unemployment. It's a lot of, I lost my job. I'm providing for my family. I'm providing for my children. So this is something that is urgent. It's something of super high importance. So we want you to know that that's one of our resources as well, is to really apply for that emergency fund to just kind of get you on your feet. Sometimes you just need a little pick-me-up to just keep going and really continue your studies, right? To continue your education. And that's really what the Connection Center is about, is providing those resources to you so that you can continue your education, continue with your studies, and be successful.
Wonderful. And one of the things too that, no, not at all. I think there's a lot there. I mean, there's so much in terms of support for our students, and we want them to know about it. So I know, Tiara, that you're very energized and committed to helping our students. So I appreciate that very much. And I think in the Q&A, in just a minute, we'll probably be able to get the information about Life Happens contact information, and also the Connection Center directly. So thank you, Tiara. And if we have any questions, we'll come right back to you. Tiara brought up a good point in that, there are a lot of resources that are given out. Part of the Growing Together grant, the benefits of that is that students are able to also borrow laptops. This is specifically for single parents, as well as I think we're working on getting some Wi-Fi hotspots. Is that?
Yeah, hotspots. Yes, we have that.
Awesome. So hotspots are basically your own little Wi-Fi network that you can walk around with and have access to the internet anywhere you go. So if there are parents who are interested in that, please reach out to Tiara, and she'd be happy to connect you with that. So I'm excited that we finally have those hotspots, because Wi-Fi access alone was a big issue, obviously, during this period, especially when there are so many people competing for a computer, maybe a laptop at home or a Chromebook at home, and also the Wi-Fi. So thank you so much, Tiara. So as we're talking about other resources that are available, paying for college is really such a big worry for many students. And Renee Salveson is here from our financial aid office. She's one of our financial aid advisors. And Renee, if you could just tell us a little bit about how students can gain help in accessing financial aid, both at the state and federal level, and maybe something about the We Cares, and then we'll go from there. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Renee Salveson. I'm a financial aid advisor. Since the pandemic, we have actually created first virtual mini labs. So our students are able to usually are able to come on campus, and we have a lab, and we're able to help them with their FAFSA applications. But since you weren't able to get on campus, we now offer a virtual mini lab. You can set up an appointment with us. You can send an email for it at fasfa_help@sunyrockland.edu. I will put it in the Q&A box so you guys can see it. And so you can set up an appointment with us. We're doing appointments every day. We have 2 very great team members who will help guide you through both the federal and the state application. So that's been really great. And the students have been making appointments, and we've been working with parents as well. And we'll even, if you're an adult learner and you can't do it between the hours of 9 to 5, we are open till 7 o'clock now. So you can set up an appointment after 5 o'clock and meet with us anytime. We're also offering for students who were impacted by COVID in the spring semester and were registered students in the spring, we're offering the WeCares funds, which was stimulus money provided by the federal government to students who were impacted by COVID. You can apply. There is an application. I urge every student to apply and to see if you're eligible to receive the funding. It could really help with, maybe that computer that you had to buy in the spring. You can use money to help yourself reimburse for it. It can help with food. It can help with if you were impacted with rent. It can help with anything. So I'm urging all students to apply to see if you're eligible for courses. There is a summer application on the website and apply for if you were here in the spring. And I also want to talk about how next week we're going to launch our Zoom drop-in sessions. So each counselor will start almost like when you used to be able to come to our office and walk in and wait and we would see you. Now virtually you can drop in our Zoom accounts. And so we'll be offering that next week, every day, each one of our counselors. So you can just drop in and we'll answer any questions you might have. We can help you with any applications. We're here for you to help you in any way you can. Also, we are here now for rapid registration. I just want everyone to know that we are here on campus and we are seeing students from 11 to 5. So if you get the chance to come on campus, and we are here to help you, we'll also help you do that. So that's really it. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm going to put my email address. I'm going to put the FAFSA mini lab email address. I'm going to put the WeCares funds application in the Q&A box, and I'm going to put everything and all the resources I have to be able to help.
Thank you, Renee. One of the really, I was just talking to a student this morning who wasn't aware of WeCare, and she wanted to know if she needed to provide receipts or documentation or anything like that in order to be able to apply for the funds.
No, we don't need any receipts or any documentation. The form is filled out that it asks you how you were impacted. So it breaks it out. Were you impacted in food? Were you with food? Were you impacted with your rent? Were you impacted with having to purchase a computer or technology? It's specifically asking how you were impacted and put in the amount. And then it asks for a brief statement. And so all I ask is that students give a pretty 1 to 2 sentence detailed statement about how you were impacted by COVID, and then that's it. No receipts, no documentation.
Great, that's wonderful, thank you. So I know that we have some continuing students on the line, and perhaps during the spring semester, they may have had some challenges finishing paying their bills, and now they want to register for the fall. We have Brian McGurk on this call too, who can also share with us a little bit about, one, how can students make payments perhaps just in general if they want to pay their bill, but also two, if maybe they have an outstanding balance, what would you recommend that they do? I'll turn over to you, Brian.
Sure, thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Brian McGurk. I am in charge of student accounts. And so basically what you should know is, we switched to a new system, and in doing so, we really revamped a lot of the technology. So right now, under the TouchNet payment system, it's a seamless system that ties in with Banner. So if you are in your portal and you click over to your student account, the only way that you would realize that you are in TouchNet is if you looked at the bottom of the screen and you saw that it's the TouchNut logo on the bottom. Other than that, it looks and feels exactly like you are in the student banner system. So you can go in there and obviously make a direct payment. We also offer a third-party payment plan with TouchNet. And so we have the instructions there. It's pretty straightforward. I really haven't had really any complaints. There are some questions, of course, when you go to something new. But we've put the steps out there, I believe, with some pictures on our homepage. Right now, I believe if you go to the college homepage, you go to A to Z, you select B for Bursar, even though it should be student accounts. Sorry, Helen, we didn't get there yet. The instructions are there, step by step, on how to make a payment with pictures, and also for the payment plan, step-by-step instructions. And we really haven't had too many questions or issues with directly making payments. So now we get to the fun part of if you owe us money and you want to come back. So there's a discussion that takes place between the administration and myself in terms of, well, is there a threshold that we want to allow students to come back if they owe us money? So that's part of the discussion. And what I would tell you is this is my 30th year. I've just completed my 30th year in higher education.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And there's really, and it's thousands and thousands and thousands of students I've spoken to. And every person has a different set of circumstances. It's all the same in which, when it comes to money, the hardships and things of that nature. But everyone's case is different. So what I would say is, first off, come forward and feel free to speak to us. There's probably something I never have heard in the past 30 years. And I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to help you. So I would like you to come forward and just say, hey, this is my situation. And we'll try to, if we can, come up with a solution for you. Sometimes that might mean that we're asking you to come up with some money. Sometimes that might mean that we're saying, hey, in order to get back, maybe you need to take a loan or a small loan. We're not trying to, put loans into a person's life equation if we don't have to. But if it helps you get registered and you know that you're committed to going to school, that payment is being deferred until 6 months until you come out of school. So sometimes the ends does justify the means in terms of taking out that loan in order to come back to school. But like I would say is, each person is different, and I respect your circumstances, and I'm here to listen to what you have to say. And if I can work something out with you, I'm more than happy to do that.
Great. So I think the key point of all that really is that reaching out, because I think sometimes students might be a little hesitant to want to, especially if there's a really large outstanding bill, they may be hesitant to reach out or not know what are the possibilities. So it sounds like that's the key. So Brian, how would they reach out to you? How do they get in contact with your office?
Basically, people do email me directly. So that's not a problem. My email is bmcgurk@sunyrockland.edu. Also, all the information or all the emails go through student accounts at sunyrockland.edu as well. Right now, it's being reviewed. Every single email is being reviewed by the assistant bursar. Mark Woodbine has been in higher education probably 25 years. And so, we both have the same sort of idea or notion that we are here to help people. And yes, we are the bill collectors, and no one wants to talk to the bill collector. But again, the college, we work for the college, but you pay our salaries. So I just want to kind of get that across. We are here to help you. But if you kind of shy away, then, the longer it takes for us to try to work something out, if you show up once classes begin, the clock for us becomes very tight in terms of what we're able to do, because it may take a couple of days to maneuver, to maneuver a resolution for you. So if you're able to come forward early enough, I think that, we will certainly attempt or make every attempt to try to help you.
Wonderful, thank you. So we have about a few more minutes left, and I'm wondering if any of our students have any questions. If you do, please put them in the question and answer, and then we'll be happy to try and address those questions. So we'll just give them a few minutes to be able to do that. Any closing words, any comments that anyone wants to add as we're wrapping up with this session today?
I mean, I just like to say, as far as from my perspective, an early childhood perspective, and just trying our best to provide this safe environment for student parents, children. I think Inez touched on so many of the issues that student parents are facing today, where perhaps they were on campus before and the accessibility to childcare seemed a little easier. But I think all of the panel just goes to show that there's so many amazing resources on campus. And even if you are not personally on campus and you're taking classes remotely, these services are still available to you. And we have all these resources, like Tiara was saying, to help all student parents, adult parents, single parents, and we just hope that you all reach out and utilize the resources that are here for you.
Wonderful. That is an excellent way to wrap it up. It looks like we may have one. One question, is the HSE online? I'm not sure what we remember that. Any of the panelists recognize that term? Vanessa, can you tell us what you mean a little bit by HSE?
I think it's the 24 credit program. Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, okay. So yes, the HSE program is going to be part of 90% of our classes this fall are going to be offered virtually, remotely. They may be using Blackboard Collaborate. They may be using Zoom, as we're using in this call right now, where teachers will be instructing live. Or there may be something called asynchronous, where the materials are there for you and you kind of do the work as at your own pace, just making sure that you meet the deadlines. So that'll also include the high school equivalency program, the 24 credit program throughout the fall semester. Okay. I think that was our final question. Well, listen, I don't want to keep everyone. It's a wonderful, beautiful afternoon. I hope you're able to get some fresh air and enjoy your afternoon. Attendees, thank you so much for being with us today. I'm sure I can speak on behalf of the entire panel that we're so very happy to have been given an opportunity to share with you the resources that we have. We are here for you. We will be open this fall. We are ready to go. And one last plug too, if you're having technological issues where you don't have access to a laptop, we do have a laptop loaner program, so please feel free to reach out to us and let us know. If you go on the sunyrockland.edu website, there is a section on COVID resources, and there you'll see how to fill out a form so you can borrow a laptop if you need one for the fall semester. But again, we are ready to serve you. We thank you so much for being here today, and we hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. We will have a few more the Inside Scoops conversations coming up on different topics, and I think there's going to be a slide that's going to come up with that. So if you'd like to attend Friday the 21st at 1 p.m., hear from your peers. So we'll have other students sharing their perspectives and tips for having a successful first semester. Monday the 24th, we'll talk more about funding and go into more detail about financial aid resources, both at the state and federal level. And then Thursday, we'll close up with remote learning 2020 and what to expect when you are going to be taking classes that are going to be remote. So thank you so much for being here today, and have a nice day.